I'm about to end this man's whole career.
What career?
But I'm not a rapper.
What career?
Hi, thank you for coming. My name is Christopher Phillips. I'm a first year at the college. My question is for Mr. Stelter. You've all spoken extensively about Fox News being a purveyor of disinformation, but CNN is right up there with them. They pushed the Russian collusion hoax.
Certainly evidence of a willingness to collude. I think as a lot of analysts like Jeffrey Toobin would say, yeah, there was clearly some collusion. It's a matter of how much collusion there was. There's a lot we don't know about the social media efforts and about the attempts to spread fake news by Russian bots and whether Trump aides were involved.
They pushed the Jussie Smollett hoax.
Because the narrative is once again changed from victim, to villain, back to victim. It's been very confusing. As Ryan was saying, people don't know what to believe, and we may never really know what happened on the street that night in Chicago.
They smeared Justice Kavanaugh as a rapist.
Other breaking news that's also emerging right now, this time out of Washington. A woman says the president's U.S. Supreme Court nominee, Brett Kavanaugh, assaulted her when she and Kavanaugh were both in high school.
And they also smeared Nick Salmon as a white supremacist.
And you made lies, and you defamed a child, and then you had to settle out of court to pay this child for distorting information about this young individual.
And yes, they dismissed the Hunter Biden laptop affair as pure Russian disinformation.
Pushing here in the United States could actually be part of Russia's latest and very massive disinformation campaign in the U.S. presidential election.
Stop. I can't breathe. Stop.
Next!
With mainstream corporate journalists becoming little more than apologists and cheerleaders for the regime, is it time to finally declare that the canon of journalistic ethics is dead or no longer operative?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Next!
Shit, deflect.
It's too bad. It's time for lunch.
You have 30 seconds.
No, I mean,
Ryan.
there's a clock that says 30 seconds. But I think my honest answer to you, and I'll come over and talk in more detail after this,
is that I think you're describing a different channel than the one that I watch. But I understand that is a popular right-wing narrative about CNN. I think it's important, when we talk about shared reality and democracy, all these networks, all these outlets have to defend democracy. And when they screw up, admit it. But when Benjamin Hall, the Fox correspondent, was wounded in Ukraine, the news crews at CNN and the New York Times stopped what they were doing, and they tried to help. They tried to help him get out of the country. They tried to find the dead crew members. That's what news outlets do. That's how they actually do work together, to your question about sharing those kinds of connections and trust. We don't talk about it enough, though. We don't share that reality about how that happens. And with regards to the regime, I think you mean President Biden. The last time I spoke with a Biden aide, we yelled at each other. So that's the reality of the news business that people don't see, that people don't hear. They imagine that it's a situation that simply is not. But I think your question, it speaks to the failure of journalism to show our work and show the reality of how our profession operates.
we have a lot of work to do, I think.
Nice save.
Next! It's okay to not be okay right now. That's the main thing I want to say to everyone watching.
Bye. Have a great time.